Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe. We are here for Division 1, getting down to the nitty gritty of the championship. It's round 16 as we take in the Japanese Grand Prix from the legendary Suzuka International Circuit. 18 turns await the drivers out on track tonight, and it could be quite a spectacle with some returning faces as well. Good evening everyone, of course, I'm James Head, going to be taking you through the action on Division 1, and you might have also seen in the Discord that's how I'm going to be doing a double stint tonight on the League of Europe channel. Sadly, Dan, or Daka, Kivior Daka as you will know in Division 2, has had some serious software issues with his PS4, so sadly he is unavailable. Super sub in replacement, I will be joining Verstappen alongside for Division 2 commentaries, so you can look forward to seeing two of me tonight in both Division 1 and Division 2. My usual commentary for CRC is not on, the off season is there for CRC currently, so I am free, but funny enough I'm free for Division 2, so Division 2, you will get the benefit of having me and Verstappen on commentary. So Verstappen stays in his position as co-coms, and I'll be taking the lead, of course, for Division 2. Of course, we are here, however, for Division 1 first of all, and this is due to go off at 6:40, 8 minutes time, so we've got plenty of time to run through what happened last week and what happened in terms of the terms of the standings as well, both drivers and constructor standings as well. Alpha Trixlen leading the way in the championship. The gap between him and Louis, who has now joined BRG Gaming, and congratulations to BRG for signing him and for signing and to Louis for joining the team. I think it's a fantastic assignment to the team. He's left STV, now at BRG, and I'm sure you'll be able to see that on his Twitter. But AlphaTrix currently leading the way on 251 points. Louis is in second on 231 points. 20 points the difference between the top two. It is really going to come down to who has got maybe the most wins in this season. If one of these two has a bad race, it throws the championship wide open between these two. They are the only two, I think, in contention as well, I'm sorry to say. Montana, who you can see is filling in tonight in the Alfa Romeo, he's now a reserve, of course, in League of Europe Division 1, the defending champion, is in third still in the standings on 150 points. And what a timely return, I think, because he's had Verstappen and Campbell chomping at the bit right in behind in fourth and fifth. Verstappen on 123 points, Campbell on 119 points. They'll be hoping for some good results here tonight. Cantera is in sixth, not attending tonight, on 117. Alonso in seventh on 101 points, with Waluigi in 8th on 100 points. Then a big break down to Cohen in 9th on 55 points, with Bullet Boy, another one not attending tonight, he is in 10th on 53 points. That's been quite consistent when he has turned up. Larkin in 11th on 39 points. Doom, the other Spaniard, not attending, that's why you've seen Montana in the Alfa Romeo. He is in 12th on 35 points. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, 35 points for June. Xjari in 13th on 28, tied with VRT Schiaparelli, who had a very good race in TTL F1 on Thursday. He drove stunningly well for a majority of the race, then had a bit of a spin. I'd be hoping him to do well tonight, to be honest. Schiaparelli could be a lively outsider for the win. He's in 14th on 28 points as well. Toxic in 15th on 24 points. Lakitu in 16th on 19. Spag and Chips in 17th. Lenny, of course, on 16 points. Then we've got Jay Heldorn in 18th on 15. NSX Vaporizer in 19th on 11. Then we've got Decky on 3, M Short on 3, and Caesar on 2. And a big welcome, of course, to a couple of our new reserves that we have got into the league. And you can probably see a very familiar face if you've tuned in to the 24 Hours of F1. There he is there. I've highlighted him. Matthias is here. Matt_TU40 filling in as a reserve in the Haas, taking over from Bullet Boy here tonight. So Matthias hoping to have a good result in his first race here in League of Europe Division 1. Certainly that I've covered. I don't remember him being in last season, so it's his first race in League of Europe. Fantastic to welcome him. He's been a stalwart, I've got to say, of league racing in the past, and has helped me run a couple of leagues in the past as well. to Matthias, welcome to him. And we should have Jay Frocker coming in as well. I'll tune in, I'll see if he joins the lobby, and I'll go through his chances tonight as well. But constructor standings, Mercedes leading the way on 284 points. It's pretty much like real life, this, I think, the constructor standings. Ferrari in second on 267 points. Going to be quite close, I think, for the constructors. We should see Mercedes might be outpacing Ferrari towards the end of the season. Big gap to McLaren, 81-point gap to McLaren in third on 186 points. Red Bull is in fourth on 174. Alfa Romeo in fifth on 152. Rich Energy, Haas, of course, not Rich Energy now, just Haas on 150 points in sixth. Scuderia Toro Rosso, now AlphaTauri, in seventh on 149. Then we've got Renault in eighth on 128. Williams in ninth on a 57. And Racing Point in 10th on 30 points. And for the benefit of everyone for Division 2, I have already got your standings. I will go through the Division 2 standings on the Division 2 stream. I've already got them. I've got the track map. That's all I need. So, coming into tonight, as we have the track map up alongside me right now, 18 corners await the drivers. Only the one DRS zone down the start-finish straight. We should see some very good racing. There is a prospect, and I've heard this on the rumour mill, and I've heard this in Discord as well, that we could be getting a wet race today. That is on the rumour mill. If it's dry for both sessions, then you can come and shoot me quite literally, but don't do that. Don't do that. I don't encourage violence at all. But hopefully we should be seeing some good racing out on track. And of course, with there being 18 corners, this track will drive the drivers to the limit. This will push them beyond the edge to that limit, and it's a very difficult track to drive. I mean, I was doing a couple of time trial times, I should say, around this track about an hour before we came live, and it is such a struggle. That bump coming through turn 18 is an absolute horrible moment to have. If you get caught on that bump, you could end up spinning the car, and that will not be great for the drivers out on track. And of course, Verstappen is also in this race in the Toro Rosso. He, as I say, will be joining me for Division 2 commentary tonight. We've got Alpha Trix in, we've got M Short as well in the McLaren, so good to see him back. And let me have a tune into the comment section. And see how you guys are doing with just 2 minutes to go. Hopefully this League of Europe stream is going to be more successful than the Formula 2 stream on Friday. On Monday, I should say, last week. Good evening to McCrew, good evening to Chill, good evening to Verstappen, and good evening to Mer Ryan as well. And Mer Ryan already coming in with a prediction, and Chill as well, actually, going and saying Campbell for the win and Campbell for a podium. Very interesting, I think. There was Jay Frocker, by the way. He is filling in the Elva Alfa Romeo tonight. So Jay Frocker in the Alfa Romeo, teaming up with Montana. Not a bad pairing, I don't think. That Jay Frocker, of course, has been known in the past, was formerly of ILRT, now joining, of course, here in League of Europe. I haven't commented on before, so it's going to be a new mission for me to try and find out more as we go along, but hopefully he is going to produce a good performance out on track, and hopefully we should get a clean race. And Division 2, as I say, is going to be live. I hope to be live around 8 o'clock, providing how long this race goes on for. I hope to be on time for Division 2. It's literally going to be hot-footed from this stream to the Division 2 stream later on, but I'm up for the challenge, and I cannot wait to be commentating both races. Both top 2 divisions tonight are mine for the taking, and a big thank you as well to Daka for allowing me, and to all organisers for allowing me to take over the reins. I said I volunteered basically that I was free, and yeah, don't need to find another commentator. You've got League of Europe's best commentator, as voted by you guys, of course, the community, here to take you through the action for Division 1 and Division 2 tonight. We should be getting going any second now. We are about just under a minute away, I think, from the start of the session. Just having a look and seeing what people are saying within the Discord. There is going to be a new driver in the Racing Point C4 next week, apparently. That is what is being told within Division 1 chat, so that's just in from that. We should be getting going, as I say, very shortly indeed. Just want to have a look through and remind everyone about the stewards reports that have came through from last week. And in fact, they haven't been done from Russia, or they have been done from Russia. I do apologise. They have been done from Russia, and it was Louis' 3-second time penalty that wouldn't be removed. So Louis not having that 3-second time penalty removed. That's the last update we've had on the stewards reports for Division 1, and the stewards updates tonight is as follows. So this is for all divisions across. If someone is caught cutting or extending the final chicane on his hot lap, an additional 10-second time penalty will be awarded to his race time. Just to clarify, if you are caught doing this both in qualifying and the race, it is a total of a 15 seconds worth of penalties. And I've actually seen the chicane. People cut the chicane and it not only invalidates your lap, it's a horrible thing, especially if you cut it during the race. It can give a 10-second time penalty nonetheless. I've seen that given before. It just depends how fair the coding system wants to be on this game. So it is going to be quite interesting to see. We've got the main championship protagonists here. We've got the top 3 here. Montana, of course, here tonight as well. Good luck to everyone that is joining in on track. And hopefully we're going to be seeing some good racing, as I say, here in Japan. 18 drivers are... 18 corners away at the drivers. I think we've got 19 drivers in total. We're just getting into the lobby now. And this is where we should see a very good qualifying session indeed here tonight. So, with that being said, it's going to be wet qualifying first and foremost, as I've got a bit of a black screen. No, it's not. It's an overcast qualifying session, so maybe drivers going on for a set of medium compounded tyres, I wonder. Softs compounded tyres tend to wear about 4 or 5% per lap, as I always say on these streams. 4 or 5% per lap for the softs. The mediums probably going to be wearing at a rate of about 3-4% per lap. It just really depends on the tyres, and of course we've got the hards as well. We should see the hards getting used within the race. Not so much, I don't think, maybe within qualifying. Certainly within the first half, I think, of qualifying. But the majority of the guys, I think, will be coming onto a set of medium compound of tyres for the end of this session. Got the first couple of cars then leaving the pit lane, and one of the first cars leaving the pit lane is Vaporized, but I think Verstappen might be out in front of him. It is Kvyat Verstappen, my co-commentator for Division 2 tonight, and he is setting up on an outlap now here around the Japanese circuit, the Suzuka International Circuit, through the S section, through the centre S as we go through 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now up the hill through Dunlop Curve, through 7, and then in towards the 2 Degners at turn 8 and 9. Very good track this to drive, if I've got to be honest. A real testing track. Verstappen looking good currently on his outlap. And just to give you a sense, really, of this track, it is so time consuming, I think. We're going to be seeing a race of around 55 minutes, maybe even an hour around here tonight. Qualifying, of course, 18 minutes. Lap times you should be seeing within the 127s, I'm thinking. Maybe even into the 126s if people are very quick. We should be seeing those sorts of lap times certainly being set here in Division 1. If nobody sets those lap times within Division 1, then, well, you may be down towards the bottom half of the field. But Verstappen on a lap now. And he comes towards 130R. And, of course, Verstappen getting ready. There is the eye just in front of him as he now comes towards that 16 and 17 chicane. Everyone backing off him behind. So Verstappen goes and sets onto his lap now. I think that is Vaporizer behind him, as I say. Vaporizer just starting the lap behind. But Verstappen on a lap of the circuit of the Suzuka here in Japan. He runs down towards turn 1, already reaching 205 mile an hour into the braking zone. Takes it initially through turn 1, down to into 4, and then up towards 5th, and then up to 6th. Very hard. If you get caught on that curve on the inside through turn 3, it can throw you off centre through the corner, but looking good here through 3, 4, 5 and 6 for Verstappen, through the centre S's, and now through the Dunlop Curve through turn 7. And this is actually counted as a corner. Dunlop Curve now up towards the 2 Degners at turns 8 and 9. Very tricky to get in. 31.9 through the first sector for Verstappen. Looking at just a little bit messy there on the inside of Degner 2, but not too bad at all. And Verstappen now reaches the hairpin through turn 10, up towards turn 11. Beautiful camera shot as we see the other drivers in behind come up, and Verstappen has got a car in front of him out on track. I think that is his teammate, in fact, actually out on track. So Spack and Chips clearly going to be given a bit of slipstream down towards 130. Verstappen then coming through the middle second, now through Spoon, and looking very good through there through turn 14, and now through the kink at 15. towards 130R at turn 15 even, and there is the slipstream being in effect. Spack and Chips perfectly giving them the slipstream. 111.2 through the middle sector for Verstappen as he now reaches this very tricky Casio triangle section of 16 and 17, and then through turn 18, looking very nice through there, Verstappen, and he now comes across the line. We're going to get a 128 or 127.6 in fact to begin off with. Very nice lap. Vaporizer coming up behind, 27.3 from Vaporizer, so already the early laps being set nicely. Alpha Trix on a lap, current leader in the championship. Louis, of course, is in the pit lane currently. He's the only one that's out on the pit. Montana goes top, 127.3. What's Alpha Trix looking at across the line? 27.2. So Alpha Trix already a tenth and a half nearly ahead of Montana as we reach the first 5 minutes in qualifying. We've got lots of lap times to be set. Larkin just across the line, 28.2. Going to be one of the tightest qualifying sessions I think you'll see so far this season. We're on board with X-Jarry, who's coming through Spoon and then up towards 130. RJ Frockel, by the way, going 7th with a 27.8. Matthias was invalidated on his lap as well, which I just rolled on board with X-Jarry. Interestingly, on a set of hard compound of tyres, everyone opting for a set of softs. That really speaks to me as if it might be a wet race, as there was rumours circulating within the chat that we would have a wet race here in Division 1. First one in a few weeks, I think, for Division 1, but X-Jarry across the line 31.8 will inevitably improve on that lap. The recent signing to NSX, Alonso, as there's a McLaren just actually lost it through the final corner. I think that was Jay Heldorn who was speeding into the pit lane there. We're on board with NSX Alonso as he comes now down through Spoon. He's got a car ahead of him, that's Montana. NSX using, although they're not teammates out on track, they're using the slipstream effect down towards 130R at 111.1. So quicker than Verstappen's lap time currently. You should see Alonso going around 3rd or 4th position with this lap, and the Haasman now around the final 2 corners. Through that bump at turn 18, there he is, he's hitting it there now, and Alonso across the line goes perfectly in between Vaporizer and Verstappen, so goes 4th, and NSX filling out 2, 3 and 4 currently. Montana, Vaporizer and Alonso. We've got Louis on an out lap, but early stages of qualifying as we ride on board with Lakitu on a lap, the Mercedes man coming through Spoon now. He's currently down an 18th, hasn't set a time, but looking very closely at the top 10, just over a second separating, literally millimetres over a second separating the top 10 out on track. That is how close this qualifying session is going to be. Lakitu 111.5, not the fastest middle sector that we've seen by far, but Lakitu hoping to go maybe in and around Jay Frocker, M Short, Cohen sort of area, 8th, 9th and 10th I'm thinking for Lakitu. He comes across the line, very close to the pit wall there, across the line, goes right where I wanted him to go. Lakitu goes 9th, right in between Jay Frocker and M Short. So the Brit currently in 8th, the German just going up into 9th position. There are the fastest laps currently out on track for the guys. We have Louis, Toxic and Matthias all on an out lap. Matthias, interestingly, I think he was on a set of softs. He's came out on a fresh set of softs, so he's now back out on track. Louis preparing for a lap. Toxic goes sailing on by. Toxic not hanging around here, and we'll run on board with a lap of the Brit. On board with the Brits around here in Japan. With 7 minutes gone in qualifying, Alpha Trix leads, Montana 2nd, Vaporizer 3rd, and Alonso in 4th. 2 tenths separating the top 4 as as Toxic comes down towards turns 1 and 2. Looking very nice and neat through there. Doesn't want to run too wide. You can pick up an invalidation through there. Now through the centre S's. 3, 4, 5 and 6. Count them up as he flies through here. And Toxic looking very good. Just runs slightly wide on the curve through turn 6. Now through the Dunlop curve at 7, looking very good. Oh, just gets caught on the outside curve. He'd do well to recover this, I think. And Toxic inevitably ends up spinning. No front wing damage, and that was Louis just flying past him as well. And Louis invalidated well, he hasn't invalidated. He's just purely off a lap. 32 flat there for Louis. So Toxic losing it, has regained control of the car. He can now get that car back underway. Unfortunate for him, I caught that on stream, but Toxic always just taking a little bit too much speed, took too much curb through Dunlop curve, and that ended up spinning the car. But as I say, no end plate damage to that car out on track. We're right on board then with Matthias, who is the only one of the 3 currently out on track that haven't set a lap time just yet. Held on being the other, but he is in the pits. He's now come through turn 6, the Dutchman. Matthias looking to have good pace around here, but again, he's done a toxic, and it's even more severe a toxic, pretty much similar to, of course, Bianchi in 2014, where he went off, and obviously a horrible accident that was in 2014 for Jules Bianchi, and Matthias pretty much doing the same, running wide onto the curb. Obviously it's dry here today in qualifying, so Matthias just catching the curb, very similar to toxic there, but just going a little bit too far off, hit the rear wing on the gravel, out of the gravel, no sustained damage to that car, which I'm very glad to report, but Matthias already feeling the struggles currently out on track. We're on board then with Chapelelli. Run on board with the Dutchman, 27.7, his personal best so far out on track, currently 6th ahead of Campbell by 600ths of a second, and the German will be hoping for a very good result as a result of tonight. The German, who did produce a very good performance in TTL F1, is a 10th up through Degner 1 and now coming through Degner 2. Very nicely there. Lovely camera angle shot as well as he comes through turns 10 and 11 up towards the hairpin here at turn 11. Very hard. You pretty much got to brake as soon as you come through the exit of turn 10, the kink of turn 10. You've got to try and brake as hard as possible for that hairpin. Very nicely done there by Chapelelli as he now comes through turns 12 and 13 up towards Spoon once again. And the German coming towards the end of the middle sector. End of the middle sector, of course, I keep on thinking the end of the middle sector is just after Spoon. It's not. The end of the middle sector is just before 130R. So Chapelelli now has got a car out in front of him, might be on an outlap. Chapelelli 2.5 tenths up, nearly 3 tenths up in fact for the German. And he's looking to go in and around Alonso Vaporizer sort of area, I think 3rd and 4th, I think this could be on for. Chapelelli coming around the final corner, catches a bump. Louis goes top with a 27 flat. Chapelelli follows through, doesn't improve his position, but improved his time, 27.5 for Chapelelli, and he actually jumps ahead of Verstappen, and my apologies there. So Verstappen came across the line, he's 200ths down through the first sector, runs wide slightly through his Spoon. Nicely done there though, but Louis on top, the Mercedes man. Big championship leaders, the top 3 in the championship standings are leading the top 3 currently here in this qualifying session. Verstappen's got to be careful here. He's got Jay Heldon just weaving in front on an outlap, gets out of the way, good respect shown there, and Verstappen I think is down on his time, but we'll catch on board with this. Mercedes just making a slight mistake coming through the final corner ahead, but Verstappen even coming across the line does improve slightly, 400ths of a second there for Verstappen. And he goes up to 8th. Jay Fokker as well has improved up to 9th. Good lap from him. The Alfa Romeo man, 27.8, our debutant here. The other debutant, of course, coming into tonight is Matthias. And he, of course, is down in 19th and yet to set any sort of lap. M. Short coming across the line there. Just catching on board with him. 27.6. Good lap from the McLaren man. Best of the McLarens currently, with Jay Heldon obviously not setting any sort of lap. He is off on, he is not on a lap at all. So he's currently in 15th, the Belgian, out on track. Jay Heldon, 28.2, can inevitably improve there. Heldon, a former NSX member, of course, back in the day. And Jay Heldon will be hoping to have a good result out on track. Let's focus then, in the meantime, on Matthias once again. On a set of medium compound of tyres, the only one that's taken a little bit of a gamble, to be honest, within this session on a set of mediums. Matthias will be hoping to try and get a good lap time set in. I think he's probably content to go down the lower half of the field and see where it gets him through the race. I have a feeling it's going to be quite a hectic race. Opening lap or so is going to be quite hectic, I think, coming out on track. Coming through Spoon, just catching the outside curve nicely there. Oh, Matthias catches the outside curve a little bit too much. Just catches the opposite lock through Spoon. And unfortunately for Matthias, that is him now off down the lap. He could come across the line and set a banker and then go for another one perhaps. But I think this might be him back into the pits and going for a set of soft compound of tyres again. Just right on board with him. As he comes through the Casio triangle section, will be ahead of Xjari if he comes across the line. And now he decides to come into the pits. And Matthias, don't blame him to be honest, off on a lap. Alphatrix in the meantime is on a lap and he's up by a 10th of a second through the first sector. Now we'll move towards 130R. Let's go on board with Ferrari man, and he's 2.5 tenths up, and he's really putting Louis under pressure here for provisional pole currently with 4 minutes to go in the session. Alphatrix ran the final 2 corners, very nice on the curb there. Now through final corner at turn 18. This is going to be a first 26 on the night. Alphatrix, oh, and he bursts clear. 2 tenths of a second ahead of Louis, 3.5 tenths improvement. Alphatrix 26.8. What a lap time from the Ferrari man, and the current championship leader puts Louis and the rest of the field on watch. Alphatrix, top of qualifying with 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Louis in second, Montana in third. So the top three in the standings are as they are currently in the standings coming into tonight. And just a reminder about the standings, actually, those are the Division 2 standings for later on. Alphatrix leading the way on 251 points. Louis in second on 231 points. 20 points difference between the Ferrari and the Mercedes out on track. And Montana in third on 150 points. So that is currently how it all pans out. Toxic in the meantime is on an outlap. We've got quite a few, in fact, on an outlap. I'm just going to go on board with Verstappen because I think he's coming towards the end of his lap here. Or end of his outlap, so he's going to go on for another lap. So that's soft compound tyres. My call comes, of course, for Division 2, as I already alluded to at the start of this stream. I'll be doing a double stint tonight for Division 1 and 2. And hopefully Division 2 qualifying is going to be as close, if not better, than Division 1. Hopefully we see that. Verstappen now coming round to the final corner at the start off a lap. Very good compound of tyres. Very good qualifying session so far. Looking at everyone's comments, by the way, good evening to everyone out on track. Should all be dry, says ex-Jarry. So the supporters of me saying it's going to be a wet race has now been dumbfounded, I think, by that weather report. Very low 127. Larkin saying he crashed here in Racing League Hub and crashed here in AOR and crashed here in the 24 hours of F1. Larkin currently down in 13th position in qualifying. Let's see that you can really make of what his performance is going to be like, I think, tonight. Verstappen coming through Sector 2 there, on the run up towards the hairpin, looking good. I think he was improving slightly in the first sector. We've got Louis on an outlap as well. I think he's just coming through the final corner there, or one of the Mercedes certainly is. And we'll just see on what one it is, and it is Louis just coming across the line there. So we'll go on board with him in just a short while. Alphatrix feels like he's done enough. I don't see him coming out the pits. In fact, he's just exited that pit box now. Verstappen coming through Spoon, just taking a little bit much turb, and again Spag and Chips is there to pick up on the slipstream. Not really that much, to be honest. Spag should be a little bit ahead, I think, compared to what he was. But he's on an outlap, and very good tactics here by the Toro Rosso guys out on track. Verstappen 2/10 up, coming through the Castillo Triangle, and now through turn 18. Verstappen looking to go probably Lakitu Alonso sort of area, I think. Oh, he goes right in between them both. Another prediction that is right for me tonight. Verstappen going 6th with a 27.3. Very close section so far. Let's see Brendan Louis going run out on track. That is, to coin his phrase, to coin a nickname here, of course, in League of Europe. You might have seen his dominance in the last few races, and Louis, of course, coming through the middle sector. Recently joining BRG now, which is fantastic, I think, and well done to Louis for joining the new team. And Louis now on a lap. Let's see what he's doing through the middle sector. On the run towards 130R. He has to be in and around Alphatrix. Oh, and he's up on Alphatrix's time. It's 0.3 of a second. There's a lot of traffic ahead. Matthias gets out of the way. NSX Alonso gets out of the way. And now Montana, of all people, is going to give him a bit of a tow down towards the final corner as Montana just makes a bit of a mistake. Louis across the line. This is going to be a 26.7. What a lap time by Louis. That was done without slipstream for the most part, and Louis 26.7. Alphatrix has got to find something special on that. Montana's just started lap, so has Vaporizer, so has Alonso. Verstappen is down on a lap, he's improved obviously. Campbell invalidated on a lap, he's retired from the session. Let's see then who else is improving. Spag is one of the first cars to come across the line. We'll focus on the main guys. Lakitu, by the way, has gone 4th, 127.1. And now Verstappen gives Spag out the way, gets Spag out the way, and now Spag through the final corner. Let's see what he can do then. He coming through the final corners. Going to be in and around Campbell Chapelletti sort of area. He goes 6th, in fact. Good lap by Spag. 3.5 tenths found there. So the Toro Rosso man up into 6th. Let's see what some of the main protagonists are doing out on track. Alphatrix coming through Sector 1. Is he up on his time? 800ths down for Alphatrix. That could be good for Louis. Vaporizer is going to be the first of the main protagonists to come across the line. Lakitu obviously has already said a lap. Montana and Alphatrix then will be next. So Vaporizer coming around the final couple of corners. We should see improvements further down the field. Jay Holden will be one to watch out for, as he is going to come across the line very soon indeed. He's just coming through his Spoon. Vaporizer across the line. Good lap, improves. 1400ths goes up to 4th, just ahead of Lakitu. Montana around the final corner. Can he find anything? He improves 700ths of a second. Alphatrix is 800ths down through towards the middle sector. Jay Heldorn is coming across the line now. He's invalidated, I think, actually on a lap Jay Holden, I don't think will be improving unless he does. He does. He goes up to 11th, in fact. And Alphatrix is down. And Alphatrix, I think, is done. He's not going to be improving, I don't think, on this lap. He comes into the pit lane. It's Louis' pole position out on track. And the Mercedes man, that is a massive, massive boost for his championship standings. As we see Alphatrix's car coming into the pit lane. We'll run you through the grid order very soon indeed. But it's Louis again out on top here in Japan. Louis takes pole position then from Alphatrix in second. The two championship leaders are going to fight it out on track. That's what you like to see. Montana in third could throw a bit of a spanner into the works with his race pace. Alonso in fourth. Look at me at the top 14, 9/10 of a second separating. Vaporizer in fifth. The Key 2-6. Spag, very good qualifying from him in seventh. Personal best, I think, for him this season, up to 7th. Verstappen 8th, Campbell 9th, Jay Fokker in 10th, Heldorn in 11th, Schiaparelli in 12th, Matthias 13th, good luck from him, M Short 14th. We've got Larkin, Cohen, Waluigi, X-Jarry, and Toxic, the only one not to set a lap time. A couple of mistakes, of course, as we caught on board with at the Dunlop curve. Well, this is going to be an interesting one. It's Japan. It's going to be a dry race. We've got the main championship leaders on the front row of the grid. Who are your predictions on? Who is your money on to take the win tonight? Of course, do let us know in that comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, and tick that notification bell if you are new, of course, to the channel. If you want to do that in any case, then you're more than happy to do so. It is League of Europe Formula 1 action, and it's Division 1, and we should see some great action out on track. Comments are showing support from Toxic in qualifying there. Toxic spinning, tell me something new, says QVR Chill. A little bit of beef going on there, I think, between QVR and TTG. You'll have to watch out for that one going forward within the mini league. LOE Mark coming in. Good evening to Mark. I'll be commentating on you in about an hour's time. Louis to win, Alphatrix second, Campbell in third. Interesting, I think, for top 3. Campbell certainly going to try and produce a good performance. I personally don't see it. I will obviously put my top 3 on the... I'll put my top 3 prediction out there in just a second, but we get going, as I say, for the race. 27 laps away at the drivers out on track. You should see lap times around here, around 129, 130 race record, race time sort of pace, I think. Obviously, top 10, all on a set of soft compound tyres. QVR Chill say he's gonna jog the track and still win. Well, confidence there from QVR Chill. We'll have to see how he gets on later on, of course. Louis out on top though in qualifying. And personally, I think he might win this one. I think this is going to be a race for the ages. Japan always throws up a good race. Don't be surprised if you see a safety car, by the way, on the first lap. That's what I think might happen. Looking at the strategy calls further down the field, Heldorn, M Short, Larkin, Cohen and X-Jarry all on a set of soft compounded tyres. Now what I said in qualifying, remember this, softs will tend to go off around 4% per lap. 4% per lap, remember that, it's the same for mediums as well, but it'll be between 4 and 5% per lap for a set of soft compounded tyres to go off in terms of tyre degradation around here. Mediums not so much, so the likes of Schiaparelli, Matthias, Waluigi and Toxic obviously starting on a fresh set of mediums, so they're starting from scratch on those tyres because they didn't qualify in the top 10. And the medium compounded tyres will aim probably to go around the halfway stage, maybe even towards like lap 15, lap 16, maybe even further than that, and then the guys go on to a set of soft compounded tyres. But what these guys have got to be wary of if they keep it clean out on track is that tyre degradation right at the end of the race. It is going to be quite potent, I think, especially for those guys. Anybody obviously that pits on a set of medium compounded tyres should be fine. There could be a track that actually goes softs to hard and try and get on a one stop towards the end of the race. However, might not be beneficial. Turn 18 for the final time to prepare on their formation lap. My top 3, by the way, Louis for the win. I'm going to go Montana for second. I think he'll attribute the rights, attribute into the right tonight from the wrongs of last season around here in Japan. He still wrapped up the championship nonetheless. So Montana for second, I think for third, a lively outsider for me would be Alonso. I'm going to go Alonso for third. I think the German has got some good pace around here, and the Haasman, recent addition to the NSX roster, hopefully going to be having a good race out on track. But we are just moments away from these 5 red lights going out on track. Get prepared, whatever you've got at the ready, prepare to throw it out the window. We are going to get ready for 5 red lights here in Japan, round 16 of Liga Group Division 1. And it's lights out and away we go. What's the start like? Alphatrix gets a slightly better start or launch, but Louis is going to lead in towards turn 1. So Louis leads down towards turn 1. Alphatrix second, top 4 remain as they are, and there's contact already. Lakitu is off track. There's a Haas lost a little bit of damage there. Matthias, I think that was, in the background. Lakitu and Spag getting caught up in an incident. Ran wide, did Spag off track, so he's down into 18th position. But Louis leads from Alphatrix in second, and in fact Lakitu is round through turn 2. So Lakitu round through turn 2. And the Mercedes man already out of contention. Louis leads though from Alphatrix in second, Montana third, Alonso in fourth. There's been a whole host of collisions further down the field. It looks like Larkin, Cohen and Matthias have been caught up in a collision, while Ouija has got through on Spack and Chip, sorry, he's got through on Ouija further down the field. But we'll focus on the main protagonists early on. It's Louis who leads by 5/10 of a second through the hairpin for the first time. Alphatrix in second, Montana in third, Alonso in fourth, Vaporizer in fifth, Verstappen in sixth, Jay Frocker in seventh, Campbell up to 8th, Chapelletti 9th, Jay Heldon getting a position from 11th, he's up to 10th position early, M Short, Toxic, Xjari, Spag, while Ouija, Cohen, Larkin, and Tyson Lakitu, all 4 of them got caught up in early incidents. Alphatrix trying to get onto the back then of Louis, trying to break the toe actually the Mercedes. You might have just seen him to the left hand side of the track there. Difficult camera angle to pick up on, but Alphatrix now on the back. Louis is going to try and control this race from the front. The Mercedes man will be hoping he can try and do a good job out on track. You see Jay Heldon getting the move done on Chapelletti. So Heldon already up into 9th position. Jay Frocker it was into the pit lane. So Jay Frocker is into the pit. I wonder if he's got front wing damage. Let's see as we ride on board with him as he comes into the pit lane. It looks like he has, yeah, front wing changes there. So that might have been the one where we saw a little bit of contact, and Spack and Chips is round through the final corner, losing control of the car completely there. So Spag currently struggling early on. Let's have a look at position gains from the end of lap 1. A lot to really write home about and a lot to analyse there. Louis leads, Alphatrix in second. Top 5 have remained as they are currently. And Louis just runs wide slightly through Degner 2. And Alphatrix will be trying to hunt him down. The two championship leaders out on track. Louis second, Alphatrix first in the standings, 20 points separating coming into tonight, and Alphatrix will be hoping to try and get the move done here on Louis. But the top 5 holding their own at the minute. Verstappen getting a lot closer here. Michael Collins for Division 2 in 6th position. He's getting 2 positions early on as well. Campbell just in behind, so we'll provide a little bit of backup from Heldon in behind. Chapelletti in 9th, M Short 10th, Toxic in 11th. Go back on board though with the battle for the lead as Alphatrix is on the back of Louis. No safety cars currently, so my safety car prediction turn 1 has not been downfounded, which is very good to see. Alphatrix though on the back of Louis. DRS will be enabled next time around to start lap 4, and Louis in fact sets the fastest lap of the race, 31.2. Alphatrix closing them down towards turn 1, but not going to be close enough. You've got to really have a really unique and great run out to the final corner. Down the start finish straight, open up that DRS to try and get the move done. And it's very difficult overtaking here, no matter where you have it on track. It's always very difficult. Spag, by the way, is into the pit, so Lakitu has gone through on him. Matthias, I don't think, picked up any damage, and Lakitu didn't as well. I think they've just been unlucky with a few spins out on track. Everyone looking quite close though. Toxic, by the way, is getting the most positions out on track. He's up into 11th and doing well. Of course, top 12 pay for points here in Liga Group Division 1, indeed in all divisions as well. And Toxic will be hoping to try and get onto the back of M Short. So if you ride on board though with the man of the moment currently with the most positions gained. He's on a set of medium. Chapelletti ahead as well is on a set of medium compound of tyres, while Luigi and Matthias being the other 2 on track on a set of medium compound of tyres. So we go from Toxic to the race lead. Alphatrix right on the back of Louis. Perfect camera transitions there. Alphatrix right on the back of Louis. 3.5 tenths separated as a run down towards 130R. Louis just runs wide on the apex slightly. Going to give Alphatrix a look into the Casio triangle. Again, not going to be close enough. Closes right up to the back of him though, and this could be job done from Alphatrix, but gets caught on the bump. Louis takes the inside line, gains the time running through onto the lap, and now Alphatrix 31.1, but he's going to have to do it the hard way, right around the outside. He's not going to think about it this early on in the race, is he? No, he's not. He's right on the back, though. 2.5 tenths separating as he comes through turn 2. Alphatrix still on the back of Louis. Nobody close enough. Everyone's stuck in a bit of a DRS rut in behind. Nikita has picked up a 3-second time penalty running through the Casio Triangle. Matthias is into the pit to replace possible damage. On the centre mediums, he was struggling early on after a little bit of contact on lap 1. Alphatrix, though, on the back of Louis. We'll focus on, in the meantime, on Alonso, and Jay Frocker has retired from the session. That has been done in the pit lanes. Jay Frocker out of the race, his debut not going according to plan, and the Mercedes and the Alfa Romeo man is out of the race. So Jay Frocker out, has retired the car. That will be yellow flags in sector 1, but it'll be because the AI car will get off the track. That is purely what it will be. No safety car, I don't think, will come out. But looking at the interval timings actually out on track, and looking from the time to the leader, top 12 currently separated by 9.5 seconds out on track. Alphatrix 5 tenths away from Louis, as we now run down towards the 130R once again for lap 4. Louis doing a good job out on track. Alphatrix though in second, right on the back now. The draw around again, closes up. A little bit of grass taken up there by Louis. The rear wing, yellow flag in sector 1 is still for Jay Frocker's car. That car has now gone. And now Alphatrix on the back of Louis. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. Somebody's had a moment around the hairpin. I think that might have been Cohen. Yeah, it was Cohen who had a moment at the hairpin. Alphatrix again closing up to the back of Louis. Not going to be close enough though to try and complete the move. On to lap 5 though. If you're just tuning in to Division 1 this evening, good evening, where have you been first of all? And you've missed quite a lot. Division 1, always producing some good action. You have to tune in for the start to see it. Louis, 6 tenths of a second away. Look clean through the first sector there compared to Alphatrix. A lot cleaner first sector from Louis. And Alphatrix maybe just beginning to drop back, maybe as a result of saving a bit of ERS. No, they're both saving ERS. So Louis just having a clear, better run through the first half of the lap here. There's now 7 tenths clear. Let's have a ride on board further down the field and focus on the action that is looking quite close. Everyone running a DRS trend. I don't think we're going to see many moves, to be honest, out on track. M Short, by the way, is on the back of Schiaparelli, and the guy on the soft, and the McLaren man on the set of soft compound tires, trying to chase down German on a set of mediums. Racing Point will be hoping, of course, to pick up a points system. A good rack of points here. Of course, they've only got the one driver. We should have a full-time driver coming in next week for the Racing Point team. So Schiaparelli will be getting a teammate, a full-time teammate next week. Go back on board with a battle for the lead. Alphatrix once again on the back of Louis. Really the only chance for overtaking, I think, through the final corner. And Alphatrix again 5 tenths off. Nowhere, not even going to be anywhere close to the back of Louis coming down towards turn 1. And Alphatrix will have to hold firm for at least another lap or so. Alonso and Montana, 3rd and 4th. All NSX drivers driving a good race, currently out on track, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Stappen and Campbell 6th and 7th as well. Jay Heldorn in 8th, has gained 3 positions. M Short in the meantime on the back of Schiaparelli. It's now 3.5 tenths as they come through the centre S's. M Short just looking very nice through there, if I've got to be honest. Toxic 9 tenths away. And the McLaren man on the back of the Racing Point. Maybe we're going to see the switch between the deltas in terms of softs and mediums here very soon indeed. We should see the first round of pit stops come around lap 7, lap 8, I'm imagining. Jay Heldorn, slight mistake out of Deckler 2. Could open up a little bit of an opportunity for Schiaparelli later on in the lap. However, Alphatrix is on the back of Louis. This is coming down towards Spoon. A tenth of a second, and Louis might have made a little bit of a mistake there, I feel, to be honest. The Mercedes man under pressure now from his nearest championship rival, and they're 2 for the championship lead. 2 for the fight here tonight. And Alphatrix is on the back, and Louis is going to run out of road because Alphatrix is through and he's up into the lead of the race. So Alphatrix is through, but that might have been tactical from Louis. Can make 20 laps on a set of medium compound tyres. So I wonder if Louis is actually going to decide to come into the pit here. Alphatrix coming through. No, he's going to pick up the DRS. So that's what he's going to pick up. But he's running in the ERS mode too. You can tell he's not going to be close enough. Campbell, interestingly, though, into the pits. He's going to go undercutting early on. He might go set of hards, and we've got side by side between Toxic and Schiaparelli. Schiaparelli, I think, has made a mistake out of the Casio Triangle, and both M Short and Toxic have gone through. So M short through and he's up into 8th position. Toxic through down the straight, easy as you like, through and he's up into 9th. So Toxic through and he's up into 9th position. Schiaparelli now down in 10th. Exjavi and Waluigi, 2 Reynolds, running in 11th and 12th. Final point scoring positions for them. Campbell, by the way, has rejoined easily ahead of Matthias. Matthias is only coming through Casio Triangle section now. And he's probably trying to recover this race quite a lot from what happened earlier on the Matthias. New fastest lap of the race. We'll give him a lot of good going into the race, I think. But he's got to be closer than that to try and have an impact on the race. I don't think he's going to be getting points here tonight. Unless something happens for the field, then Matthias, Cohen and Spag, I think we'll be hoping maybe next week will come a little bit sooner. Louis on the back of Alphatrix. 5.5 tenths, running down towards 130R. Now just under 5 tenths of a second. Can Louis open up the ERS and down the straight and open up the DRS to try and complete the move? A lot later on the brakes there. Scratching on the grass slightly, Alphatrix. And they both stay out. Montana stays out, Alonso stays out as well. So does Vaporizer, so does Verstappen. No, Verstappen's in. So Verstappen into the pits. Just gets that car stopped in time. 50-odd mile an hour speed limit, of course, here in Japan. Verstappen making it with 42 mile an hour going into the pit lane there, and he's on to a set of medium compound tyres. Campbell also went for a set of mediums. Going to be quite close, I think, between them two as they come out of the pits. Verstappen going to be ahead here, possibly of Lakitu, maybe of Campbell. No, in fact, Lakitu's going to be through on him. It's going to be quite close, though. It's going to be a race out of the pits. Campbell might just get the run around the outside. He does. So Campbell through. And he's up into 14th position. I think Verstappen might have saw him coming. A little bit of the air of caution, I think, there for Verstappen. And Campbell and Verstappen now going to make their way through the field. They're relatively in clean air. Lakitu ahead is on a set of softs and will pit in soon. So Campbell and Verstappen have played it a little bit smart, I think, to be honest, out on track. Could be on for podium. Alphatrix still leads, from Louis in second, Montana third, Alonso fourth, Vaporizer in fifth as we approach 1/3 distance here in League of Europe. Jay Heldorn is in sixth, with M Short in seventh. Toxic and Schiaparelli, the battle you're on board with now, is this one here between Toxic and Schiaparelli for 8th and 9th. And Schiaparelli will be hoping to try and get the move done on Toxic. VRT against TTG might be a sign of things to come, possibly within the mini league that'll be coming up in a couple of weeks' time. I will go into details about that later. Louis, by the way, is into the pits. Alonso in, Vaporizer in as well, so they're all into the pits. Montana and Alphatrix stay out. Schiaparelli, though, in the meantime, on the back of Toxic. 4.5 tenths of a second separating these guys out on track. Can Schiaparelli try and get the move down in towards turn 1? Not going to be close enough. Could be down in towards turn 2, though. Not quite again. Toxic 4th, Schiaparelli 5th now out on track. Louis is going to come out in very clean air indeed. Alonso and Vaporizer also out in clean air. There is Campbell, there is Verstappen, and they've gone through on Heldon, and Campbell's also gone through on Vaporizer. So Campbell has undercut Vaporizer in the pit lane. That has now landed himself maybe in the chance of a net P4 out on track. So Campbell out of the pit lane is currently net third on track in terms of the guys that haven't pitted, but net P4 I think he's on for. So Campbell undercutting Vaporizer for now 10th position. Be interesting to see if Alphatrix and Montana respond. I think they will. The fresher the compound of tyres towards the end of the race, the more they will begin to push towards the end of the race as well. Campbell new fastest first sector through Decna 2 there, and now comes up towards the hairpin. He's got Vaporizer charging all over the back of him out on track. The other Williams is coming under pressure as well. The other Williams under pressure from Schiaparelli. And running down, as I apologise for that slight burp. Schiaparelli on the back of Toxic. You can't keep it in really. Alphatrix though stays out and Montana is into the pit. Oh, and Schiaparelli nearly into the back there of Toxic. Coming into the Casio Triangle. Just cut away briefly. I thought he nearly got the car stopped perfectly, but he didn't. Schiaparelli nearly ran into the back of Toxic and changed his line late, but has just about held on. And Vaporizer trying to go for a move here on Campbell. Are we going to see a first clean overtake of the night, I wonder, between these guys? Vaporizer and Campbell running down the straight. Campbell out of the DRS on Alonso, and now look at the charging Dutchman down the inside. Here he comes, vaporizer down the inside, gets the move done on Campbell. Fantastic move down the inside, fresher tyres coming into play. Vaporizer through, and he's up into P10 out on track. Verstappen then trying to have a bit of a hunt here on Campbell as well. 0.5 of a second as they fly through the centre S's once again. And in a time where we celebrate we don't celebrate, we celebrate of course 26 years since the tragic passing of Ayrton Senna in San Marino in 1994. 26 years since one of the legends of Formula 1 passed away just last week, and to mark an anniversary like that is absolutely harrowing, I think, and unfortunately he was taken away too soon. It would have been great to see Ayrton right at the point of the limit that he got to within Korea. Unfortunate incident, of course, in San Marino, which cost him his life, but will forever live on as one of the greats in Formula 1 racing. Alphatrix, by the way, is coming out of the pits now, and I'll tell you what, he might have a good advantage here over Louis coming into the pits. Louis held up behind Montana. Montana's actually undercut, Louis out in the pits, and Alphatrix is going to be miles ahead of these guys. So Alphatrix ahead, Louis, by the way, trying to go all the way around the outside through turn 1, and the Mercedes has somehow managed to do that, around the outside, a little bit off track if I've got to be honest. Might have to give that one up. It looked off track to me. Louis though has got the position done. I don't know who was ahead going into the corner. It was very difficult from the camera angle, but Louis through and he's up into P5. Vaporizer on the back of Alonso as well for 7th and 8th. And all beginning to unravel here out on track. Toxic, by the way, is still under pressure from Schiaparelli for the current lead of the race. They're up into the hairpin. She's right on board with these guys now. But this race really developing maybe into an instant classic here in Division 1. Of course, we had turn 1 incident, lap 1 incidents out on track. Of course, the race cannot be won on lap 1. The race can only be won on lap 27. And we are slowly approaching the halfway stage here in Division 1. If you're just tuning in, where have you been? Toxic leads from Schiaparelli in 2nd, Luigi in 3rd, Alphatrix in 4th, and has now got a 2-second gap to Louis, and that will be even tough on Louis standards, I think, to catch. 2 seconds might not sound like much, but around Japan, it is a very big margin to try and gain, because you're going to have to be running within the slipstream of the car in front. Montana is going to have to give Louis something to think about as well. The Swiss man, on his first race in weeks here in League of Europe, since his first race as a reserve in League of Europe, and Montana, the defending champion, will be on the back of Louis running down towards turn 1. Louis responds, fastest lap of the race, 1:30.4, I think that was, from Louis on a set of medium compound of tyres. Vaporizer on the back of Alonso running through turn 1. A lot of good action here, a lot of close battles, which is good to see in Japan. As we are nearly halfway through lap 12. Toxic still leads, Schiaparelli in 2nd, but we're right on board with Montana, trying to hunt on Louis. Tyres 5 seconds time penalty, full speeding in the pit lane will drop to the back of the grid. He'll go into a set of medium compound of tyres. I think that might be him out of the session soon as Alphatrix goes down the inside into the hairpin, gets the move done on Waluigi. That was a bit late on the brakes there from Alphatrix, but he puts Waluigi in now in front of Louis. So Alphatrix is through and he's up to 3rd. Good move that down the inside. So Alphatrix there up to 3rd, Waluigi 4th, Louis in 5th. 2 seconds now separating just under between 3rd and 5th currently out on track. Louis in cleaner air will be hoping to try and come at Waluigi. He'll be hoping Waluigi comes into the pit sooner rather than later, but he'll be out for the long haul, I think. Waluigi tries to gain. Schiaparelli in the meantime trying to gain on Toxic, and in fact Schiaparelli making a bit of a mistake there, has now dropped 1.1 seconds off the back of Toxic. Waluigi could have another go, and Alphatrix running down the straight. What is the Belgian's straight line speed like running down the straight? Let's see as he comes down towards turn 1. Turns down the ERS, 200 mile an hour though, still in towards turn 1. Waluigi hanging on to the back. But now gives Louis something to think about. Louis is going to now try to close the gap. Dragging Montana alongside him as well. So they're pretty much going in tandem into this race. Waluigi will now be hoping to put Louis under a bit of pressure and to force him to slow up a little bit behind the Belgian. But Louis, I think, is going to maybe size this up in towards the hairpin. Let's see how close he'll be up to towards the hairpin. Is he going to go for a late lunging move down the inside like Alphatrix did from a mile back? He is not. So Louis trying to get switched back outside of the corner, out of the corner, in fact. And now Louis on the back of Waluigi. The Mercedes chasing down the Renault out on track. The Alpha of Montana just beginning to lose a little bit of time. Nearly through halfway now here. Just about through halfway here in Liga Group Division 1. Fantastic if you are tuning in for the first time to catch a race of ours here in Division 1. And now Louis is sizing this up on the run up towards 130R. You can see where this one is going. Louis is down the inside. Easy as you like. I think Waluigi just invited him in like a Sunday service into church. Louis through and he's up to P4. Terrible, terrible pun, I know. You can at me at that one in the comment section. Montana on the back of Waluigi, and Waluigi's going to go back through the field here. So Montana sizes up maybe one of the easiest moves you'll see all night, that Montana. And again, Waluigi inviting Montana through the door there, and he's through and he's up into 5th position. Didn't want to go for the church pun there once again. Vaporizer on the back. M Short is in a bit of no man's land, but Jay Heldorn really attributing to his race. Well, Verstappen makes a slight mistake, and Heldorn is surely going to try around the outside there, but I think safekeeping doesn't want to try and move around the outside there. Would have been quite difficult coming through into the Dunlop curve now and towards the Degner's 1 and 2. Held on the back of Verstappen. Two Dutchmen find that out on track. 0.2 of a second separating. Toxic, by the way, still lead. Ciappelletti in second. Where these guys are coming out on track is probably going to be around M Short, X Jarry, Larkin sort of area. 12th, 13th and 14th these guys will rejoin. Waluigi will have to pit again. He's going to be probably in behind Lakitu and Cohen possibly out on track. Now, held on though on the back of Verstappen for 10th and 11th. Currently this is actually for a net P7 if I'm not mistaken. So Verstappen held on for a net P7. Currently out on track. Held on the back of Verstappen. Tries to break the toe. He's running in the slipstream of Campbell as well, Verstappen. But now look at the closing speed of Heldon. Could size him up into the Casio triangle. He's got the inside line. He's going to go around the outside possibly here. Switch it to the inside line. Heldon going to be very close on the brakes. That is how you defend through there though from Verstappen. Good attribution of defence there from Verstappen. Held on, trying to go up the inside. Very smart cutting across there from Verstappen. Just out of slipstream as well now on Campbell. Can Heldon get the move done down towards turn 1? No, he can't. Just clipping the curve there on the inside actually shot off the man. Heldon has to hang on tight for 11th position. Verstappen will be hoping he doesn't make the same mistake like he did last time around. Toxic and Ciappelletti going for a set of soft compound of tyres clearly with their runs. Same with Waluigi. As I said, mediums rather than hards, always favourable here in Japan. Verstappen under pressure still from Jay Heldon. Closest battle actually out on track this, so we'll stick with this for a little bit. Alphatrix and Louis, by the way, for the lead of the race, 2.2 seconds. So 2.3 seconds now. Alphatrix looking quicker than Louis tonight. And that's for the net lead of the race, of course. And in terms of the championship standings, it will be 27 points for Alphatrix towards Louis. Louis as well got the fastest lap of the race, so that'll be 26 points in fact. So that's still a race win and the fastest lap away for Louis to try and get in on Alphatrix. And these two have been so consistent. I've always said Louis will possibly win this championship. I've said that since he joined the league back in the day. Ciappelletti, by the way, going for an undercut on Toxic. He's into the pits. Held on in the meantime on the back of Verstappen. Yeah, Louis, I think, should be trying to get something out of this race. He isn't at the minute because he's just not close enough out on the track. Heldon catches the bump on the inside. Ciappelletti, by the way, is coming out of the pit lane. He's coming into his pit box now, I think. Or he's actually coming out of the pit lane, so he's going to be ahead of X Jarry. Quite comfortably, possibly, as well. Throwing a pit, it's going to be quite close, but it's going to be about a second, I think, coming out of the pits for Ciappelletti. So yeah, he stays now in 12th position, so he's just within the points. Which is good for racing points as well in their chase for the championship. Louis, 3-second time penalty. Running wide there through Degner 1, I think that was where he picked it up. So Louis, 3-second time penalty. Let's have a run through actually. There's not really much happening out on track. Toxic has picked up 2 warnings so far. We'll fill out the top 10. Alphatrix has picked up a warning. Louis with that penalty he's just picked up. Montana with a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits. That'll be added on to his time at the end of the race, while Luigi hasn't picked up anything. Set a personal best as well last lap around. Alonso has picked up a warning. Vectorize has picked up 2 warnings. Campbell has picked up 2 warnings. Verstappen has picked up a warning. And Jay Heldon's picked up nothing. So good job from Jay Heldon, and good job from everyone that hasn't picked up a penalty just yet. You can pick up a lot of penalties normally here in Japan, but Division 1 showing how it's done. Currently out on track. Toxic, by the way, into the pits from the lead of the race. There is the Williams man as he comes into the pit lane. Onto a set of soft compounded tyres he'll go. Remember, the gap was 1.9 seconds coming out of the pit lane between these guys. Just went on board with Vaporizer in the chase of Alonso. I thought that was a 1/10 of a second for a minute there. Toxic, by the way, is going to come out of the pit soon. There is Schiaparelli running down the straight. Toxic out of the pit lane ahead. So Toxic will be at the pit lane ahead, but barely ahead of Schiaparelli. And while Luigi also came into the pits, he's going to be out behind Larkin, I think, when he comes out the pits. Yeah, there's Larkin, and there is Luigi just coming through. So Larkin through, he's up into 13th, now out on track. But game on now for Schiaparelli to try and catch Toxic out on track. Game on as well for Heldon, trying to catch Verstappen for 7th and 8th. I said it was for a net 7th, I'm bang on with that again. And of course, if you are tuning in later on for our races tonight, you say Heldon close up to the back of Verstappen. If you are tuning in for Division 2 and Division 4, you will see a very familiar face in Division 2. I will be taking you through the stream for Division 2 later on. Dan Kvyat not available. Heldon looking down the inside of Spoon. Not going to get the move done there. So I'm filling in, as I say, one night only, I think, for Division 2 tonight. But I'm very excited to give you guys the full complement of my experience. If you are a Division 2 driver, then of course you'll be prepared to see. And I will be joined by this man appropriately that I'm right on board with now, Kvyat Verstappen, who is on the back in a 3-way battle for 6th. Campbell under pressure here from Verstappen. I wonder actually if Campbell would let through Verstappen and then put Heldon under a bit of pressure and force him into his teammate. It could be a little bit of a team game, to be honest, out on track. It's what I would do if I was Campbell, to be honest. He looks the slower driver out of these 3. And Verstappen and Heldon will be hoping out on track that Campbell can be forced into some sort of mistake. He's on 11 lap old tyres. Verstappen on 10 lap old. Heldon on 9 lap old. He tries to switch it back through turn 6. Not going to get it done there though. But M. Short's getting closer as well. McLaren man getting visibly closer out on track. 1.7 seconds now, the McLaren man away as Toxic picks up a 3-second tumble in behind, and now he's under pressure from Schiaparelli. Schiaparelli against Toxic, both on a set of soft compound of tyres. If I was Schiaparelli, I'd be trying to work with Toxic at this point, try and gain as many positions as possible and let Toxic drag you into the race. Schiaparelli taking the inside line there, coming through down towards Spoon. And Schiaparelli 4/10 of a second away, currently out on track. We'll pick up back on board though with the battle for 7th and 8th. It's Verstappen and Heldon. Toxic and Schiaparelli will go back to in just a second, but now Heldon on the back of Verstappen. Yellow flag in sector 1 at Matthias, that is round through the Dunlop curve. So Matthias round through the Dunlop curve, and there's Heldon down the inside on Verstappen. Can't get the move done. Heldon has to sit in tight. He switches to the inside line. It's now going to be side by side, maybe running down the straight. They're stuck in the DRS train here, Heldon. And now Verstappen getting closed up. Here comes Heldon down to the inside on the McLaren on the inside. Toro Rosso around the outside. Great action this between these both. Heldon and Verstappen still side by side into the centre S's. This is going to be bold. Heldon's around the outside. He gets the job done. Heldon. What a move by the McLaren man out on track. Outplays Verstappen at his own game. Slightly fresher tyres coming into play. Heldon's through and he's up to 7th. Great commitment from both of them there. And look what is happening in behind as a result of this battle. M. Shaw, Toxic and Schiaparelli on the back. But Heldon is through and he's up to 7th. Great move and great driving between them both. Toxic though on the back of M. Short. And Short is under pressure. Look at the closing speed of these two on the softs. Toxic and Schiaparelli will be hoping maybe to pick up P7 later on in the race, but Toxic in the meantime is going to try and get past M. Short. If I was in Toxic's shoes, I wouldn't rush to try and get the move done. M. Short is gaining on Verstappen on fresher tyres. Oh, and Toxic Oh, he's kept it out the wall! Somehow, no damage. Well done to Toxic. He just clipped the rear wheel, lost it through Spoon, and Toxic, great recovery there from him. He's put him down back into 11th position in his chase for M Short. He just overdid it on the power, and Toxic round. He's down into 11th, but no damage on that car, which I think is an absolute miracle of how he kept that out the barrier. Fantastic stuff from Toxic. M Short, Verstappen, held on, all trying to get in on Campbell now. So four-way battle for 6th and 7th, beginning to battle on Vaporizer on the back of Alonso. Here on lap 20 out of 27. Oh, Waluigi has left the session out on track. So Waluigi has disconnected at the session, and Larkin nearly got overtaken by an AI car. I don't think he would be wanting that on the stream. But Waluigi's AI car is fighting Larkin out on track. Looks like actually they're quite close to each other. I wonder if Waluigi... Yeah, he is ghosted out. He's on 110 AI, and he is fighting the back of Larkin. Might be one of the weirdest things you might ever see. An AI car trying to get past a real car out on track. Hopefully Waluigi can join back in. Held on in the meantime on the back of Campbell, as this is opportunity now to try and get the move done. And held on. Looks like a Hellcat out on track. Held on the back of Campbell. Drove a great race last time out in Russia. Filled out in one of the top 5 positions, I think. Held on under sustained pressure to deliver here tonight. Campbell on the under pressure now from Held on, and now Held on. Is he going to switch to the inside? He is. He's going to have a go down into the Casio triangle. He runs a little bit too deep. He's got the car stopped. He gets the move done. Campbell playing it smart though. Could have the run down towards turn 1. This is going to be nip and tuck stuff down towards turn 1, and in fact it's neither of them have DRS. So Held on has got that move done cleanly out on track, and he's through, and he's up to P6. And I tell you what an addition to Division 1 Held on is. Fantastic moves, 2 great moves pulled off. Thought he went too deep. Campbell tried to get the DRS. They were just at the DRS zone. Held on soon, he's up to P6, and he's making these guys around him look like pretty ordinary guys, if I've got to be honest. Schiaparelli is on the back of M Short. Look at the closing speed, and he's not going to go around the outside here in towards Segner 1. No way, Jose, is he going to pull that one off. But Schiaparelli now under pressure on M Short, and now Schiaparelli's gone for the move down the inside. M Short cuts him off. Schiaparelli just about around the outside, could be side by side on the run down towards Spoon, and M Short just gives him a bit of a tap there, saying you're not coming through here, mate. M Short still in 9th, Schiaparelli still in 10th. A little bit cheeky that from M Short, but I think we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Just letting him know he's purely there, out on track. That's 22, by the way, about to begin. Alphatrix leads by 2 seconds from Louis in 2nd. Montana is in 3rd. Alonso 4th, Vaporizer in 5th. And we're right on board, actually, with these two, who've been hammering tongs, are very consistent so far tonight. Vaporizer on the back of Alonso. Could he get close enough for a go down towards turn 1? I don't think it's possible. It's not going to be possible down towards turn 1. Campbell, however, it is going to be possible down towards turn 1 from him, and it's around the outside from the Red Bull man, and that is a good move if he can pull it off, but he can't. Or can he? He's still there. Held on gives him the space. Campbell now on the inside line. We've held on back in his own favour here. The Division 2 champion from last season, and Held on. He's had a great race so far. They're getting into contact slightly. Held on recovers the car. Schiaparelli's coming through up the inside, and he takes 2 for 1. Schiaparelli down the inside, parting of the Red Sea, is through, and he's up into 7th position. And M Short is on the back of Verstappen as well. This battle has literally gone from 0 to 100 in the blinking of an eye. Quite literally out on track. Don't really like Toxic out of this either in 11th position. Oh my god, this is breathless stuff out on track. Division 1 showing how it is done tonight. Division 2, I'm afraid you're going to have a lot on your plate if you want to match this race that I'm seeing out on track. Unbelievable batting there. Very hard, on the edge, but fair racing now between Campbell and Held on. And now Schiaparelli, as I say, like the parting of the Red Sea, is now on the back of Campbell. As I say, I'm going to hop it from this stream to Division 2. I'm going to be doing Division 2 in a little while. Staffen will be joining me for that one. M Short 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. That was a cut, I think, at the Casio Triangle. Here is Schiaparelli. 3 moves in the space of a lap. Easiest move you might see all night, I think, this from Schiaparelli. Got the move done. Down the inside. Part of the Red Sea earlier on the last lap there. But Schiaparelli's through and he's up into 6th position. Softs and cautiousness paying off, I think, for the German out on track. But now it is all beginning to unfold between Vaporizer and Alonso. This is for 4th and 5th. Remember, Louis has got a 3-second time penalty, so he is going to be getting second out on track. It was an interesting attempt by Kvyat Chill saying, B. Morgan saying, got told Toxic was winning. I got lied to. Yeah, he was leading. He came into the pits. Before he came into the pits, he was leading. I can guarantee you that out on track. Yes, you can go and watch that back if you want to watch Toxic in the lead of the race. I think we've had some really good battles out on track. Japan, as I say, never failing to amaze. And the guys should be credited, I think, for their performances. And a majority of the top 12, probably every single driver in that top 12 has driven some sort of good race, no matter what. Heldon on the back of Campbell. Maybe going to be my vote for driver of the day, Heldon. He's on the back of Campbell, trying to go this time around the outside into the Casio Triangle section. Through 16, he's on the inside into 17. He can't get the move done, can he? Held on. 3 great moves he could pull off tonight. He's now side by side. It's drag race down towards turn 1. Who's got the quicker car? Who's got the quicker setup? It looks like it's Campbell, but Heldon's pulling alongside. He's round the outside into towards turn 1. Can he get the move done? He's round the outside and towards turn 2, but Campbell just about hangs on, and Heldon cannot get his way through on the Red Bull man out on track. Oh, goodness me, we are in for a right hammer and dong battle out on track. Hammer and dong battle, I should say, out on track. Goodness me, even I'm losing my words. M Short on the back of Verstappen. Look at Toxic getting involved in this as well. After his spin, remember, and after him clipping the wall with his left rear tyre, he has somehow got into this race. All the battling and in front has really let Toxic now get back into this, and he's got a sneaky chance, I think, of a top 10 finish, maybe even further up than that. But a 5-way battle for 7th. Held on the inside line through Spoon. Oh, he's going to have a half commitment, but not have a look down the inside there. Campbell wise to the fact. Allowed him, maybe to come up the inside. M Short, good run out compared to Verstappen. They run down the straight. I wish there was a DRS straight down towards 130, because this will be quite exciting out on track. Heldon pulls out the slipstream, down the inside of 130. Can he get the move done? Heldon's now on the outside line through the Casio Triangle. Campbell on the inside line. Poor camera angles, and Heldon's had to cut the track. So Heldon and Campbell make contact, and Heldon just about joins, and he joins in behind the pack, which is good to see. Good respect shown now. Vaporizer's got through on Alonso. Verstappen is going to get through on Campbell. It's literally hunting day here for the pack. M Short's trying to go around the outside of Campbell. Can he get the move done? He can't, can he? Oh, and Campbell spun it. Campbell spins it out of contention for the top 10. Unfortunate, he just overpowered it through. He's got a right side end plate damage. He's got 17 seconds to lock in. He can stay in that position, I think. Unfortunate for Campbell. M Short had the car ahead. There was no contact at all there. I think it was just Campbell purely losing the back end. And now M Short's through and he's up into P8. But M Short did have that move done. And what a move it was. And here is Toxic into contention as well. I did say don't move him out of this. Toxic down the inside line, trying to get the move done. He's a little bit late on the brakes, but he forces his way through down on the inside. Hard but fair racing there. He was entitled to the inside. Toxic through and he's up into P8 out on track. M Short trying to repay the favour of the Winter's Spoon. Not going to get the move done there. But another lap of the race is about to begin, by the way. Spag and Chips follower has been lapped by the leader. So Alphatrix now is ahead of Spag and Chips out on track. Verstappen under pressure. Here comes Toxic. Look at M Short's closing speed as well. Are we going to get 3 wide down the straight, I wonder, between these 3? It's all, and M Short into the back of Toxic. Just about hanged on to that car. There could have easily been a little bit of front wing damage there for M Short. Luckily, I didn't see any go off the car. And now Toxic, hunting day now on Verstappen. Toxic to the inside line. Can he get the move done? He can. He just sails it down the inside. Easy move as you like. And Toxic through and he's up into P7. Oh my god. Can we stop with the overtaking, please? Campbell going for fastest lap of the race. So he's into the pits, going for fastest lap of the race. I think him and his teammate are going to be at the points, which is afraid to see. There's a good battle going on for 12th as well. Final point scoring position. This has been going on the last couple of laps. Larkin trying to go around the outside here of Waluigi. Lucky for Larkin so far. Touching wood, he hasn't crashed yet. And he's doing a good job out on track. He could be on for a potential final point scoring finish out on track tonight. Lakitu, fastest lap of the race, 129.1. So he sets personal best on that lap. Campbell, by the way, has rejoined in front of Lakitu, so that is that. M Short, though, on the back, who's driven well. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3, and it's gone. Yellow flag in Sector 3, I think it was for Spag, letting through Louis. On to the final lap of the race, by the way. We're on to the final lap. Heldon's on the back there of M Short. We're going to continue on with this battle for as long as we possibly and physically can. Held on the back of M Short. He's not going to go around the outside of his teammate into the Casio triangle as he's late on the brakes. M Short just cuts him short then. Held on forced across the track. And I think M Short might get a bit of a slap wrist, I think, for that one out on track. He just moved across on his teammate. Not really the greatest thing to do. Obviously, you have to defend the position, but you have to defend the position where you've got to send it, and Heldon's down the inside. And this is going to go again from 0 to 100 in a matter of seconds. Heldon's ran the outside, and fair play to him, he's actually got the move done. So Heldon has got the move done, ran the outside of his teammate. Had to wait for it to get back past, but he gets the move done, ran the outside. And very good racing here from Heldon. And M Short had that gap down the inside and held on through, and he's up into 9th. Well, let's run on board with the leader of this race, Alphatrix, coming through Spoon for the final time. It has been an absolute fantastic race here in Division 1 in Japan. Hard, fair, on the edge racing. And Alphatrix is going to come out on top. Louis with that 3-second time penalty, remember. Montana with that 5-second time penalty, remember. Alonso and Vaporize, I think he's seen the podium as you are. So Alphatrix round the final corner. The Brit is going to win and extend his championship lead. Alphatrix across the line to win in Japan. Louis in second. Montana going to be coming across the line in third. 5-second time penalty gets added now. Alonso is just about hanging on from Vaporizer here. It's going to be scrapped to the line, and it stays the R. Alonso 4th, Vaporizer in 5th, Chapelelli in 6th, 2 McLaren side by side, and M Short forced off by Heldon. Heldon and M Short, not sure what happened there in the background of Short. Verstappen down to 9th as little penalties. M Short could be outgunned here by X-Jarry. He is, while Ouija and Larkin having a good scrap towards the final 2 corners now. Well, Ouija is just going to be out ahead of Larkin here, out on track, but down on the point. So Larkin gets that final point scoring position. Cohen, his race was really over and done with on lap 1, but he's trooped on through for P14. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. Oh, and it's Matthias again. He's spun for about half a dozen time, I think, out on track. Cohen across the line. Good result, actually. One-stop strategy worked for Cohen. 26 laps on those. Lakitu gets robbed of his fastest lap by a 10th of a second from Campbell. 15th place. Campbell, Lakitu in 16th. And there is Matthias. Lonely race for him. And Matthias, with left side end plate damage, spinning out of Spoon, I think. And Matthias is going to be across the line to finish in P17. Spag and Chips as well in 18th position. Well, that's the Japanese Grand Prix over and done with here in Division 1. Division 2 has got a lot to live up for, I think, out on track. And let us see the podium celebrations. Brendan Louis knocked down a spot tonight. It's Alphatrix who takes the win here in Japan. A fantastic drive, a dominant drive in the end from Alphatrix. Louis tried an alternate strategy, didn't pull it off. He finishes in second and Montana in third. Top 3 in the standings finish as they are out on track tonight, and they stayed in the same positions, I think, as they did, apart from Alphatrix obviously getting up on Louis from the start of the race. But that is Division 1 over and done with. And I get XP. What is it with me and getting XP? Fantastic stuff. But Alphatrix takes the win out on track by 4 seconds in the end. Louis had a 3-second time penalty. He finishes in second. Montana in third. Alonso and Vaporizer, good scrap between those two to the line, 0.4 of a second separating in the end. Alonso 4th, Vaporizer in 5th. Chapelletti 6th. Toxic, very good recovery drive from Toxic. He gets my drive of the day over Heldon, I'm afraid. So Toxic through for 7th. Heldon 8th, Verstappen 9th, Exteri 10th, I'm Short 11th, Larkin 12th. There your point scoring finishers. Waluigi, Cohen, Campbell, Lakitu, Matthias, Spargle finished. Jay Frocker the only one out of the race. I'm now going to hot-footed over to Division 2 to fill in for Dan. So, thank you for tuning in to Division 1 action tonight. I will see you in 10 minutes for Division 2. And until then, stay at home, protect the NHS, protect your health service as well, and please save lives. Because if you do not stay at home, you do not save lives. It is simple as that. But for me, James said, I will bid you farewell, and we'll get ourselves into the Division 2 lobby. So I will see you in about 10 minutes. Thank you very much for tuning in to Division 1, and until next time, goodbye.